Yeah, today I'll be learning the distributive property of multiplication. Now, the distributive property of multiplication states that if a if a is multiplied with an expression inside a parenthesis or a bracket, if I say so, and if the bracket, like suppose b plus c, okay, now it says that it will be distributive, or it will distribute, a will distribute with b and A will distribute with C. But have you ever wondered why it doesn't, like, it really doesn't really make sense? Like, you are randomly multiplying number. Why? Now think for a moment. It actually makes sense, but our maths, the way we are taught, that's why maths seems really illogical and magical. First of all, like the way we are taught is so stupid, so useless, so disturbingly bad. Whatever. Nothing to say about these things. These are really bad. Now let's check why this actually works. Now we know what is multiplication. Multiplication is just repeated addition. It's none more than that. It's just repeated addition. I will talk about a multiplication problem later, but right now that's what. For now we know multiplication is repeated addition. There is not complex value but just a negative. Sorry, what is a positive value? So let's erase this thing. Now let's think for a while. If a times b is there, now let's think for a while. A is, suppose, let's take a is equals to 2. A equals to 2. Right. Now in this case a is equals to 2, then we can write it as, now if we input it, we can get 2 times b plus c, right? Now what does 2 times anything means? This side means how many times you have to repeated addition, like do the repeated addition, and this side means which side you have to do the repeated addition. It's very simple. Like b, this expression is literally saying add b plus c 2 times, which means you add b plus c, b plus c, bracket gets removed as b plus c are variables or blind numbers. They can't be added. So b plus c when added also stays b plus c. So brackets are out and you write b plus c. Okay, b plus c as I write it in order. Now we know order doesn't matter in addition. Okay. Now we can write it as, wait a little bit. Let me zoom in. Yeah, now we can write it as b plus c. Now we can write it as we know in addition order doesn't matter. Now we can write it as c plus c plus b plus b. Now see how many c's are added, how many b's are added, sorry, b. Now how many b's are added? B's and c's, like we know what is c plus c, 2 times c, because 2 times anything means to add it repeated times. So 2 times c, so you get 2c 2b, exactly. Let me write it here, 2b, exactly what the distributive property says. Distribute is none other than just simple arithmetic. If you think so, just think for a while. Now negative value kind of like flips everything. Like the concept of negative number is a completely different thing, but yeah, but like -1 times -1, it really doesn't make sense, but still I will tell you, like, what I know. If you think my concept is wrong, please explain. If you understand maths, if you don't, if you do it like a calculator, then don't try to understand. Whatever. Now, okay, 2b 2c. That's what our like maths said. Okay. Now let us just erase it. Nice and clean. Now, oh, sorry, I forgot to give the title. Okay. Now in this case we saw that how distribution property works. Again, another way to think about is you have two times a plus b, right? Now this whole expression is added two times. That means you have written a plus b plus a plus b. Now you can think how many a plus b are added. So in 3, if a plus b are added 3 times, then there are 3 a's, then 3 a's are added, then 3 a's, 3 b's are added, 3 b's. Very simple. It's a common sense. Done. Our distributive property learning is done. That's what it stated, and that's how we imagined it. It's just a simple common sense if you think so. Now the main problem comes when there's much more complex. Like suppose you have a plus b times c plus d. It is hellish, man. And what you do, you use FOIL method. But what is actually FOIL method? Now we distributed this with that thing and that part with that part. It doesn't make any sense. What is going on? Yeah, actually FOIL method makes sense, but if you have to understand what is actually FOIL method. Now if we do normally, of course it makes a value. Suppose it makes a value c, and this makes a value d, so c times d will be cd. Now if c is added with d, then this part is a structure of d. Okay. This part is a structure of d. Now this d and this part is a structure of c, so this is a structure of c, so this whole part would be multiplied with this thing, right? But it, so it should be written like a, as for the distribution property a, I will explain you broadly, but right now it's like this. Just blindly, just let's follow first. A plus b times c plus a plus b times d. Now c, like plus b times d. Now see how hard this expression looks. Now you have to again explain. Now FOIL method states that you have to do this. Like we know the work of FOIL method or how it works, but FOIL, like first this thing is just completely. But we are never taught how they are used and why like this. Let me explain. Let's first explain without the FOIL method. Now how distributive property works in this case. Now get back. Okay, nice. Now when you have such c plus d, now in this state we know multiplication is just repeated addition, and we know a plus b is representing that how many times it should be added, and c plus d is the number that will be added. Of course c plus d makes a number. Now if c plus d makes a number, then we can write c plus d plus c plus d. Man, this thing is so small. Okay, let me get into a broader, ease it a little bit, and yeah, now we can get c plus d plus c plus d plus c plus d, and dot 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 a plus b times like the, if the number a plus b was 3, then c plus d was added 3 times. If the a plus b was 2, then c plus d was added 2 times. If a plus b was 4, then c plus d was added. Now a plus b is a blind number, or it doesn't representing a finite value or something. It can be any value in the world. So we don't know how many times they are added, so we write dot 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 and a plus b, as if you input a plus b, that many times c plus d would be added. Now if we group the term, we can write c plus c plus c plus c dot 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 plus, because it means more c's are added, as how many times a plus b was added with c plus d. Because if you group the terms, now we can write it as d plus d plus d right? Now dot 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 a plus b times, now they are added a plus b times, now c is also added a plus b times. And of course, if when a plus b is not equals to infinity, because if it was infinity then c plus d would be added infinity, and we couldn't group the terms, as infinity is infinitely long, so infinity can't be grouped. Now whatever, as infinity can't be grouped, now, of course, C is a finite, so this dot is representing the finite value of C as A plus B. Now, we don't know how much finite value of C is and how much finite value of D is, so plus C as D. Now, we know if C A plus B is a finite value, then it has a finish. Now, if the finish is, suppose 3, then it would be 3C, because 3 times C was added. Now, A plus B times C was added, so we can write it as A plus B times C, because C was repeatedly added a plus B times if we grouped it. Now like if we see, now again we can write a plus B times D, right? Like again it is added, D was added a plus B times in the previous expression, we just grouped them. Now if this was added like this, now look, we are stuck in a loop. We got a plus B times C and again a plus B times D. Look, this is a loop. Again it means C was add C a plus B times, and D, like it is just representing this line again and again. Wait, this line and this line again and again, again and again, again and again. Like it doesn't make any sense. What are these? But now it doesn't make any sense now, but we can, like math tells us it should get, because of the distribution property of C, that should multiplied with a bracket. But here a plus b is saying that c should be added. Now we know order doesn't matter in multiplication, so what we do, we little bit change the structure. Now we write as c times a plus b plus d times a plus b. Now look, a plus b is in the front. Now you have c times a plus b and d times a plus b. Now it means add a plus b c times, or if c was a number, like if c was 3, then add a plus b 3 times. Now add a plus b 3 times, and if you grouped the term like a plus b dot 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 plus a plus b plus a plus b, like dot dot dot, like here it's, man, this thing is so small. Wait and let me explain you again. My time is over for now. Like I will explain it in the second video right now. Okay.